Hi, this is the 2400 SD Turbo I picked up last night. I thought I'd do a bit more of an in-depth examination video of her and show everybody what it's like more in the daylight. And I've given her a bit of a quick wash now, and then you can really analyse what the damage is after sitting 15 years. I think really she's in about the same kind of condition as any SD1 is after sitting for that kind of time. She's not that bad, but I thought I'd just give a bit more better walk around of the interior. The man said that one back door doesn't open, but it opened up last night. So she's got full electric windows, which apparently is quite rare for a diesel. I wouldn't know. I've been searching for a restorable diesel for the past 7 or 8 years, maybe even getting on for 10. Growing up, I grew up with SD1s. My dad, he had 2. He had a V8S in Caribbean blue, and then he had a V8 Patas in gold. I thought it was quite strange. I don't really know that much about the diesels, but it's strange it's got the gas struts on the bonnet as opposed to the locking mechanism like every other SD1 I've had, aside the one twin planet Patas. So last night, as I say, I only wanted to check to see if it was seized or not, because my wife, she was saying about how I've wasted more money on another SD1, and do we really need another SD1? She didn't understand the importance of having a diesel, and she fired straight up. I didn't bleed it, I didn't give it any aero start, I just took the 2 batteries off. No, these 2 batteries are flat, so I jumped her off the Cougar, and wow, within 2 or 3 turns she started. Unbelievable. None of the other electrics work on her at all. The interior lights, the dash, the clock seems to work intermittently, but I wouldn't mind betting just cleaning the earth points, a lot of that probably work. Obviously every single tyre is knackered on her, but later on today I am going to put a set of tyres on her so I can move her into the shed. The clutch is seized. I wouldn't imagine it is the cylinder that's seized. I'd say it's actually the clutch itself. I'd imagine it's probably genuine mileage with what little histories I've got with her. And everything seems to feel about right. The pedals, they haven't got that much wear on. Same with the gear stick. You know, I think she probably has done 69,000. Typically an SD1 Mark 1 problem, but the glove box is dry. So I wouldn't say she's got any alarming rock problems. Nothing more than what you typically get with an SD1. Sometimes I go around the scuttle, but this one, she's quite tidy along the scuttle. There's no rot along there. I will take the batteries out and show a bit better in the shed, but the battery mounts, they're fine. They're not rotten either. All the inner arches are gone on her. This side isn't quite as bad as the other side, front and back, but the other side they are slightly a bit worse. That's the only piece of troublesome rot, I suppose you could call it. Even the sunroof might be serviceable. I don't think we're going to need to find another sunroof for her. But I suppose we have to tell more as we go along. The sills, but typically to my experience, I've had 25, 30 SD1s at low. Well, I've got quite a few myself currently. They don't tend to go on the sills that much. To my experience, it only ever really is the inner arches, front and back. And that's never really the seams along the inner arch. Though more recently people are saying that they are getting it on the inner arch into the boot skin, and that can be a big problem, but I've not actually come across that yet. It typically seems to be the tips of the sills going onto the inner arch and underneath. I be able to see a bit better underneath when I change the tyres. Sometimes the trailing arm mounts, they pop off as well, but to tell you the truth, we tied her to the Kia, we dragged off with the trailer and nothing untoward happened. You know, she rolled off. Thankfully the previous owner, when they parked her up, they didn't put the handbrake on, so she wasn't seized up in terms of the handbrake. Thankfully the front bumper is in great condition really. As they are getting harder and harder to find the parts for, and rimmers are getting more and more progressively expensive on supplying the parts for them. The lower diffuser is not damaged either. Quite strange. I don't know if they all come drilled from the factory, but she's got the fog light holes in there. The most poverty spec SD1 I've ever had, I had a 2300 that wasn't even an S, it was just a Rover 2300. Now I remember that didn't even have the wooden trim inside. Unfortunately I can't open up the boot at the moment as the handle itself snapped off. So at some point I'll start tackling the interior and I'll open it from the inside. I wouldn't like to put my life on it, but the jacking points don't look too bad either on the back. All in all, I'd say she's not really that bad. There's not all that much wrong with her. But I suppose, as with any project you take on, as soon as you start stripping them back, you start finding more and more problems with them. But yeah, I thought I'd just let everybody see a bit more of an in-depth view on the 2400 SD I picked up. I will be posting a series of videos on the restoration of her. She will, whatever direction, end up going back to bare metal and then resprayed. When you got cars as rare as this, and it's not really about the value, I don't really think she's worth that much. I imagine if she was perfect, you'd struggle to sell her for 5,000. It's more the love and appreciation of the cars, you know. A lot of people seem to think that rare equals valuable, but that isn't always the way. So yeah, if you want to keep posted on it, subscribe, and I'll try and make more videos more regularly. I have got several projects on the go. I've got quite a lot of P38 Range Rovers and Range Rover Classics, an almost incalculable amount of Rovers, both BL, Austin Rover and MG Rover. So if you've got any interest in them kind of cars, you know, well, I've got one of almost each of them. So well, thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you in the next one.